Okay, for many years now I've been using Unique powder by Alliant, and it's been very successful as far as the calibers I load: 9mm, 38 Special, 357, 45, and 44 Magnum. That's just the calibers that I have. I'm sure it works in other calibers. I also use it in like rifle gallery loads. But in the past I've used red dot, power pistol, green dot, and out of all the years of experimenting with powders, red dot, it was very versatile, very consistent, less stringing. It's a little bit faster burning than Unique, and so I was sparingly using it for 38 Special and 45 ASP, which works great in that. Not so much the 9mm. It does work at 9mm, cast bullets, but the pressure curves are quite high, because of the confined space. 9mm raising the pressures up, and red dot being a faster burning powder than Unique. With Unique now, I get extremely good accuracy. I don't get a high pressure spike, and shot-to-shot variation is quite good. Reliability out of my 9mm is perfect. Both my Beretta, my 6-hour, and my M&P. But anyways, today we're going to make some more bullets today, and my last load that I used was 4.1 grains of Unique. Today I think I'll bump it up to like 4.3, 4.4, and give it a try and see if that makes a difference. If it doesn't, I'll go back to 4.1 or whatever I feel that is more accurate, more reliable. All right, so we'll be using my Progressive 1000. And I have it on disc number 57, and we'll be using my powder coated 125 grain Lee round nose bullets, which weigh out to be about 130, 131. So again, load according to your weight. These will be sized to 1.125, and we'll be using CCI small pistol primers. I swear by CCI. They extremely work, great with the Lee Progressive loaders, and I'll tell you why. In the manuals for the Lee Progressive, they talk about the primers, the best primers used. They believe that the small pistol primer for CCI works the best, and for that is because of the way it's designed. They use like a polished chrome cup versus a brass cup, so it slides down the the primer chute a little bit better and smoother until it gets right about here. I'm down to about 15 primers left. I have to push them in by hand just a little bit, and it keeps from jamming. So this is one thing about the Lee Progressive 1000s, that you can have good successful loading applications, provided you watch everything carefully, like your primers for one, your powder flask, make sure that it's full of powder. In this case we're using Alliant Unique. Okay, I don't have the tubes on mine. Most Progressive Lee loaders have the tubes. I like to do it one at a time so I can keep control of the cases going in and out without jamming. And if there is a jam, I can immediately just rectify it quickly. Alright, getting back to our loading. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to this turret, load it up, one shell, and we're going to measure out the weight of the Unique powder. Now what you should normally do is like put a charge about 3 times just to get it, make sure that it's accurate. Make sure there's no airspace inside your disc that would cause it inconsistent charges. Alright, that's 3 times. Let's go ahead and we'll measure this charge out. Alright, we got a charge right here. Stand by. Alright, I have my RCBS Rangemaster 750 all calibrated. So let's go ahead and drop our charge in of Unique. 4.5. Beautiful. That's about what I wanted. Either 4.3 or 4.4. Well, here we go. 4.4. 4.5. We're gonna try 4.5 and see how how it acts in the 6R 2022 today. All right, let's get back to loading. Okay, so what I've done was I've dipped it 3 times, and let's see what this third time does. 4.5. It's pretty consistent. So we'll go ahead and do 4.5 grains of Alliant Unique. All right, let's go ahead and put our pistol primers in for Lee priming disc. Now, I've had these for many years, so if you look, you see that they're kind of tarnished a little bit, but they work fine. So basically what you do is you place them upside down and carefully release them into the disc. And while you're doing that, kind of move them from front to back so they don't pile up in one area. There you go, just like that. Discard your casing and then just give it a little shake. Doesn't come out perfect, but you're going to have to kind of finagle a little bit. Oh, there's one that didn't flip over, so let's go ahead and manually flip it. Sometimes in the process you end up flipping 5 back over on the backside by accident. Alright, so because they're old, I put a little bit of rubber band on them. You kind of hold them up a little bit. Oh, that one's broken. It doesn't matter. This will be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and place them in our our machine here. You want some kind of a dowel to kind of hold them up and let gravity take its place. Alright, so there we have it. All loaded up, ready to go. Alright. When they're full like this, basically what happens is the weight and the gravity is what's going to feed them into your primer chute, and then add another primer to your shell, and at the same time flare out your case mount and charge until you get to the next stage, which is the loading stage. You get a nice firm push. Charge up your shells. Add another shell. Place your bullet on top of the charged up shell. Push down. And then I take it to the crimping stage. Alright, so we have our first loaded round. Continue on. Understand, this is not a race. You're loading ammunition. You're not competing against anybody or anything. Take your time. Make sure everything's working properly. And we're just going to make 100 rounds today. Just to add to the other 150 rounds that I have already. From a different angle, and we're going to show you the crimping stage of it. It's a Lee crimping die for 9mm. And basically all you're doing is you're just tapering, you're just squashing down the taper on the bullet itself so that it'll fit in the chamber properly. You don't want to taper or crimp them too hard. you want to, because basically what happens is that the cartridge itself, case mounts on the rim of the cartridge to the chamber of your 9mm. So about here, I'm on my, I have to start to push in the primers a little bit, and then push forward, shoot the primer. We got about 13 or so left to go before we're finished with the 100. And you know, these Progressive Elite 1000s are not the best in the world, but they aren't the worst either. They work pretty good. Just gotta give them a little bit of attention. All right, grip that one. You know, and I haven't lost a primer yet, so everything's been functioning pretty well. But again, take your time. This way you can keep an eye on the press itself. You have total control of the quality control of the ammunition. Okay. Make sure you check all your flasks. And try not to, you know, when you stop and check things, kind of remember where you're at as far as steps go. You don't want to do a double charge or have a primer issue. You know, the whole object is to be efficient and safe as possible. Push in, push forward, crimp. Alright. Well, we'll do 10 more and then we'll stop, and then we'll go back on to the next stage. Alright, so here's what we have it. 100 rounds of 9mm Lee 125 grain round nose with 4.5 grains of Alliant Unique, CCI small pistol primer, and an assorted mix of brass cases. Alright, let's go out to the range and give them a test shot. And what we're going to do is we're going to test for accuracy today and do a bench rest with my 2022 at 15 yards, and we'll see what kind of groups we get with 10 round strings. Alright, we're going to fire our first 10 rounds with 4.1 grains of Alliant Unique, 15 yards, and this will be all bench resting. This is just for accuracy. Well, I would call that an extremely good group there for 4.1 grains unique and a 125 grain powder coated red lead bullet. All right, let's go ahead and do test number 2 with 4.5 grains of Alliant Unique at 15 yards off and on the bench rest. Okay, now we'll be shooting 4.5 grains of Alliant Unique, 131 grain round nose at 15 yards, bench rest. The 4.5 grains are over to the left and about an inch lighter than the 4.1 grain. I think the 4.1 grain is going to be the winner here. We'll go back home, pack up for here, and talk about the results for today's So again, with the right components, powder, primer, bullet, weight, sizing, everything's a factor when it comes to making accurate hand loads. For me, as you saw, 4.1 grain of Unique did a really good job of keeping the rounds point of aim. The 4.5 didn't group bad, but it grouped over to the left and a little spread it out. So after I did that second test with the 4.5 grain, what I did was I shot it off camera and I pointed it just right of the red dot, and it landed into the red dot itself. And the groups were almost the same, but not quite as good as the 4.1 grain, but good enough for combat use. So I'm going to say an extra 3/4 inch to an inch more than the 4.1 grain. But anyways, with the right handgun, powder, and a little elbow grease on your end, you can get some pretty good loads for your 9mm pistol, or any automatic or revolver for that matter. Just a matter of making a few samples, checking the diameter, headspace on your pistol itself, and find out if your handgun or your guns are reliable. So as you saw, the gun actually shoots better than I can at a bench rest for 15 yards. So I would say that this SIG 2022 was money well spent, for sure. Anyways, this is Lead Bullets for Life. Have a happy Halloween. Thanks for joining me today. Enjoy your rest of your Sunday. Take care.